In today's video, I've decided to take you through the process of setting up your DJI Pocket 3. Why I'm doing this is because during this 2 months of owning a DJI Pocket 3, I went through all the settings, all the videos, and I'm confident enough to take you through to my changes in the Pocket 3, and I will take you slowly, step by step. Majority of the video which I've seen, they are very pro at this. They take you at very fast pace, and sometimes when we are at the beginning, we get a little bit overwhelmed. So my goal is to show you how I set up my camera. This is the second video I filmed, and I will show you a little bit of the previous video where I've done the unboxing. But then my mic failed at some stage, and right now I need to film that again. So without waiting, let's find out the best settings for your camera and the most important settings, what you have to change into your camera to make sure that anytime you want to use it, you take it out of your pocket and you're ready to film with it. So let's get started. Like I said, the first step is the unboxing step. And you can see lots of unboxing videos on any YouTubers with DJI Pocket 3. The first thing what you have to do is to insert a card into your slot. So, card inserted. We start. After you inserted your SD card in here, you will need to connect your DJI Pocket 3 with the DJI Mimo app. Now, it's DJI Mimo app and not DJI Store, so be careful. I did find a tutorial on YouTube, and I will tag the person in the comments below, because for Android phone, it's very hard, or not hard, it's just a little bit more difficult than with iPhone. So you will have to download the DJI Mimo app, and in DJI Mimo app, you will have to connect your gimbal. You see mine is connected to the DJI Mimo app, it says in there. Once that is connected and you give all the ticks and approvals, you will be able to do all this stuff, which you can see lots of unboxing videos on any YouTubers with DJI Pocket 3. Now, the second step which I would like to show you is just to talk a little bit of the parts what you have here, and you have the on and off button or the start button, and you can start the gimbal by pressing this. That's how I set my on up, and long press again, you can stop it, or you can turn your screen on. Why I've done this is because if I'm on a track or on a hike, sometimes I don't want to use the screen in this position, like I don't want to be stuck in my backpack, in my pocket or something like that, and I want to reduce the wear and tear of this little screen. So I like to film, I take it out from my pocket, press start, and I like to film exactly like that. It's just my personal preference, but you can change that by rotating, and I will show you how to do that. Then we have the joystick here, where it goes up and down. Oh, it changed to my zoom. So you have the joystick, it should rotate towards you. Yes, so that's, it tells you that gimbal reached his point. If you double tap, it will rearrange himself. Then you have the sliding turning screen. You have your SD card. This is an extension, and your gimbal head. Now, what I will tell you, try not to touch the gimbal head when it's on. So for example, if you want to start, and sometimes you need to have a cloth with you, and if you see that your head it has spots on it or something like that, you can turn it on towards you, and you can wipe it slightly with a camera cloth. So try not to use your t-shirt if you can, so you don't scratch the main lens. Always turn it off and you can touch the gimbal head. If you need to install filters and the filters or anything else on the camera head, on the gimbal, yes, please turn it off. It's very important so you don't ruin your gimbal. So you'll see from manufacturing your camera is at 1080p. So you'll have to change that by swiping up. And if we swipe up, you can change that. I already changed it to 4K 24, 16:9. Let's get used to the screen. So if we swipe down, you will see we have some settings there, and we will go into each one of them in a second. If we swipe up, you will have your resolution and the frames. So you can go from 24 to 60. What I will do here, you can change it straight away to 24 frame per second, 4K. And then we will set up some custom presets where you can access your camera in there. Then if we go on the side, you could see what you shoot. At this stage, I have only one little video. So it's all your albums. And then if we swipe on the right side, you have all your settings. I want to be in there usually, and this is where we will change all our settings. Also, let's talk about the screen. This is where you change you see where is this little camera? You change your modes, and you can do camera, photo, video, and in here you should have custom modes, slow motion, and we can add 2 more custom modes in there, and that's what I want to do. Now if you rotate your screen, it tells you it shuts down in 2 seconds. Perfect. And then you rotate it back, it starts out. I will show you how to use the rotation, and you will see me here, and you can see the tracking, which is already working on my face. And then if we turn around, it goes towards my wardrobe. If your gimbal it's switched and it's a little bit wobbly, so it's, you see, lopsided like that, double tap and it's straighten up. So super easy, and I think you can use it without a problem. I want to show you is the face auto detect, and this is that green little square which will come onto your face when you will do tracking, which I love it. I use it all the time. The next one is the dynamic framing, and when you start this, pretty much you're able to choose your points where you want to focus the camera. So me personally, I keep it on face auto detect, and the last one is the 180 and 90 degrees spin shot. So pretty much you hold your gimbal, you move forward, and the gimbal rotates 180 degrees. For example, if you have a tree or a church, you can use this. Let's leave it into the face auto detect. Let's go into, I think, step 3, changing a few things in here. So if we scroll down from top to bottom, we have a few things. In here, we have all our modes. And as you see, it's the custom modes. And I will show you how to do a custom mode on a further down step. So these custom modes are very important because you can set up 3-4 custom modes, hyperlapse or anything else. I have 2 video custom modes which I set up and I love. The next button is this one. I haven't changed anything in here. I haven't looked into it. It's all connected to your custom presets, hyperlapse, so I haven't changed anything in there. But I did change the brightness of my screen. And if you can do it 50%, I think is great, because that will save you battery. Now, if you need to change it and you're in a bright situation, you can come in here and you can change that. For me, this auto detection, oops, let's go back in here. Selfie on, it's very important because usually I film myself and you can see it's a little man, and you can change it in there straight away, and I've changed that so I can use my selfie tracking pretty much. Now, this little wheel, we do have a few setups to change, and the first one is the gimbal startup direction. I put it always forward because when I want to start showing something in front, then I can turn. So we put it forward, I will close that, and then I can use this little gimbal rotation forward or backwards, is right here, to change it if I want. But you can change that to wherever you want. Like I said, forward or backwards, where do you want to start? Now I did my rotation screen power off to never, because I don't use that rotation screen too much, but it's up to you if you want to change it. Then we go slider control. It's zoom, but we leave it in zoom, yes, because I want to use my gimbal here as up and down and not from this slider control. So for me, that slider control stays on zoom, but I never use it, so I try to stay away from that. I haven't changed anything in here. This wearable mode is if you want to use it for your tracking and you want to put it in a chest mount and you want to do like kind of POV like I'm shooting right now, you can change that there, but I haven't touched it. I did touch the joystick speed. So gimbal it's 2, zoom is 2. I don't use that zoom, but gimbal, that means if I want to rotate it, it doesn't rotate very fast, or if I go up and down, the joystick goes in a slower movement. It's for me it's important, it's not too fast. Reference lines, I put the grade, and that's really important. If you've done photography, you know you can go with rule of thirds, and it gives you a little bit of indication where your head is your body. Those grid lines, they won't be in your footage. When I start my screen rotation in filming, to be always filming in landscape. Is like, what do you mean in landscape? You see, even now it's in landscape mode. So if I change it to portrait, that means it's going to 3K. I don't want to do that. And if it's going to go to turn on and off, it's just switching between 3K 30, as you see, 4K. I don't like that. So pretty much I've changed my gimbal, my screen rotation to landscape, always to landscape. I love it like that, and for me it fits what I like and I don't have any problem. The next one here is your gimbal rotation could be fast, default, or slow. I will leave it at default for now. And these are the gimbal modes. Follow mode will be in the moment when you do vlogging, tilt lock for when you do different setups or videos, roof and some detail shots. So I will leave that as it is. Step 5, it's more of a preference step, but there are a few things which you need to change. And what I would like to tell you is that this step is where you tune your pro settings. And for me, it's important, once that you've changed your shooting mode in there or shooting settings by sliding up and you've changed it, perfect, happy with that. Then you slide from right to left and you go into your pro settings. And these are very important because this is where we can change a few things. And I like to use pro settings because, well, 80% of the pro settings. This side, you have your ISO, and that means how much grain you'll have in your footage. For me, I'm happy if my grain goes towards 400, but not higher, because I don't want to be very grainy. And then I leave the camera to change that. I choose a level 50 to 400. More than that, I will have to change it manually. Then on the other side, on the left side, you have EV comp, and I've changed mine to -1. And you see, if I go up or down, oops, you can change it. And then you have the shutter speed. You just have to make sure you press on that left corner. All right, step 4. So this is very important. It's this little star or 4-corner setup, and that's where you will put your face auto detect. And as you see, mine one is start, and if you have a face in front, that will become green and you will be seeing that is focusing on you. Now, if you want to change and move your joystick, you go on dynamic framing, and then you'll have the spin shot. And why I like spin shot is that if you have a car or a forest, you can use this 180-degree spin, and it spins and you focus on the tree and goes in there. So this framing, I think, goes hand in hand, and remember this with your follow, tilt lock, and FVP. And then there is one more. When you start your video, so if you press start, if you hold your button, your joystick, press and hold, it will lock the gimbal and then you can move. So if you rotate and then you hold it, the gimbal will stay straight into that direction. So it will not move. And for this screen and taking you around all the setup, that's it. Now we'll go into the last and most important step. And as you know, your shutter speed needs to be the same, double the frame. So we shoot in 4K 30. That means my shutter speed should be double the 30 frame per second, 60. And I say confirm. Auto white balance, I left it in auto white balance, but if you want to change to manual, you see here 4920, you can go manual and you can change it. I always leave it in auto white balance. I can change it in my software, editing software. Glamour, mine one is always off. I'm okay with my wrinkles. color, I shoot at this stage in normal color 10-bit, but you can change it to HLC, G, and D-Log. D-Log, the hype is real. Everybody wants to shoot in D-Log, but I have no time for that, so mine is on normal. Focusing mode, very, very important. Mine, you have single, continuous, and showcase of product. So if you had a product and you put it in front of the camera will focus on that product and then it will blur you out. For me, I don't shoot as many products. I will shoot a DJI Air 3 and that's when I will use it. So I've changed it to continuous. That's where it stays always. Confirm. Now, this is very important and you have to do it, is the sharpness and the noise reduction, and it's under, so if you go adjustments, you go there and you just go sharpness -2 noise reduction. You can bring those back in your post-production if you want. So I left it like that. I've changed also, if you press the Pro, it will take you out and it will go into, I'm not sure what's the screen, but you have glamour off, and again I've changed this adjustments to -2 just in case. I would like to show you one thing which I think I will change on my P3. So by default, when you open this, it starts with your screen in landscape. Now, I'm thinking that I don't want to flip up and flip down. And you'll see when I turn it off, goes into the 3K 24 seconds. I took away the 2 seconds where you have to continue because I didn't like it. But I'm thinking that if I do this in many times, it's possible that I will damage this screen. So what I'm thinking to do is to leave it into this portrait mode, and then I will go into the landscape portrait rotation, and I will change it from auto rotation to landscape. So now you will see it's filming in landscape, and it doesn't really bother me because I don't want to watch the screen all the time. So the smaller it is, just to see that I'm focusing on my face or filming whatever I need, for me it's enough. So if you want to go back to your auto rotation, you can just change it from there and you just flick it over. So you can do that. But for me, I'm planning to go back to landscape mode, and in this way I will start and turn it off from my button. I would prefer to do that so it's not so much wear and tear on this little screen. This setup 4K 24 with the little changes, what we've done, it's already in there. So what we can do now, drag down and save this setting in our custom presets. That means if we go in here, we have C1. You can change back to your video, and I will the same settings. Besides, I will change this frame to 4K 60 because I like that. And sometimes I will go in between 4K 60, 4K 24, and I will do a preset again. Here, C2. So the same settings, just different 4K. I won't go in the other modes, time lapse, because at this stage I'm not shooting in that. But again, you will be able to change this one, and it's pretty straightforward. In photos, again, you can do a preset. if you want. Right now you can see you have a timer in here, and it's 16:9 or 1:1 ratio. I leave it 16:9. In photo, I will change the format to JPEG and RAW because I will be able to take it in Photoshop and play with that. Exposure, again, I will put it -7, -1. I'll leave it there. Shutter speed, depending on the pictures, I will have to change it always. I will leave it at 100 because it's not shaking. And then EV comp 1.3. I'm happy with that. Pretty much that's it. You can change in here, not too many things. When you're in video, let's see, start video, and when you slide, you will have this slider here, and you'll be able to change your exposure as you need. So again, we stop that. So we've done our exposure to -3 and the ISO between 50 and to 400. And if we need more light, you start your video and you just slide your slider and you put more light into it if you need it. My room is very dark, so I may need to change that manually when I will have a room like this. The last thing which I would like to talk with you is that before packing your camera, always put a protective case over your gimbal because you want to protect that head, and you can use the gimbal protection case from DJI, or in my case I bought a special one. It's not very expensive. And my next video, so don't forget to follow if you like what I'm talking about. If not, disregard and run away. But the next video, it will be talking about accessory for DJI Pocket 3. But this accessory can be used to GoPro, Ace cameras, and there are 2 or 3 accessories specially made for this DJI Pocket 3, but some of them you can utilize it for different cameras and gadgets. So watch my next video for that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!